Hey everyone, welcome to Korracast and our Halloween spooktacular. Woo!
Sean, I gotta say, Sean, you really came together with your costume this year.
I know, I've worked pretty hard on this.
And Vince's costume is looking pretty good.
He's looking nice.
Ryan, I'm confused. What is your costume this year?
I don't quite get it.
Well, I felt like I should go as my hero, Chris the cameraman.
Oh, okay.
That's a pretty lifelike Chris costume.
I get it now.
Thank you. I only spent like a couple hours on it, but I feel like it all came together.
Welcome to Korracast.
Today we're going to talk about episode 4 of The Legend of Korra, book 4, Balance, episode 4, The Calling.
Great job, Chris. You're doing a great job filling in.
Spot on. So, as you can see, we're missing our Ryan and Vince this week, but it's okay because we got Chris sitting in, who is more than qualified, and Mickey, who is also more than qualified.
He's just as qualified as Vince. Let's go.
Oh no.
Oh no.
The repercussions of this episode are going to be drastic.
So we've been a little tardy on some of our last episodes. The last 2 episodes we put out. In case you haven't seen our review for episode 3, we just published it right before this. So you can click here somewhere. You can click here if you haven't seen the review for episode 3. Go ahead and watch that, and then you can come back over here.
And hopefully you guys checked out our video game live stream. That was cool, right?
But we might do it again. We still have half a game to get through.
Yeah, we had kind of a low turnout for our video game live stream, but we only played half the game. So we're thinking about later in the season playing the other half, doing another live stream. So let us know in the comments if you actually would like to see that. Is there anything else?
This episode was actually a pretty clean-cut, straightforward episode, I thought.
Yeah.
There was really only cut back and forth between 2 main storylines, so an A and B story, and both were pretty straightforward.
Right.
I still actually thought it was... I liked it, though.
Yeah.
The simplicity was good, and we got a little bit of depth in character and stuff, but...
I really appreciate that they're slowing down.
Yeah.
Because the first 3 seasons were so just like, we gotta get moving, and I'm a little worried that at the end of book 4 they're gonna have to make up a lot of lost time because of the slowdown that we're getting, but right now it's nice. It's a nice pace.
Well, this was my favorite type of episode because both storylines were very personal. Like, it was just like character growth. This was all about characters, and those are my favorite types of storylines. Not so much event-driven. I'd probably say I really appreciated the conclusion to... Not conclusion, because it's not over yet, but the kind of closing of the Korra PTSD segment.
I do think
I thought that was very well done.
Turned a corner now, right?
Yeah.
You know,
then
right.
Toph, like, leading her down. It's just like, listen, this is all the past. It's time to move on. And it's just very post-traumatic stress disorder, like, related. It's just like, listen, you've been suffering because you went 3 years without really talking to any of your friends. Mm-hmm. And that's why she had been so withdrawn.
She pretty much said, Toph said, pretty much what we've been saying.
Right.
It's like, look, Amon and Unalaq and Zahir, they had good...
They're not wrong.
They're not wrong.
They just
Freedom, equality, those are good things. But the way they did it and how far they went aren't. And so it's like, look at what they did. And you got to, like, kind of... You're stuck on this for a reason, and maybe take what they've done and move forward.
There was a moment in the episode where when Toph sends her to go get mushrooms, and I was like, is it going to be like Star Wars when she goes in the cave and sees herself and she has to battle her deep, and then she has a hallucination of all her bad guys, and I was like, oh, I wasn't serious.
I mean,
so...
it is funny, but it's also it has to be intentional.
The Star Wars illusions?
Well, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, the cave, but even like the bullfrog, isn't there, like, in the Dagobah swamp, there's a little shot of some puppet monster like jumping into?
I think so. Yeah.
Like, it's just like, okay, they're kind of throwing like little.
Yeah, you got the old
nudge.
hermit in the training the young.
I mean, she's totally Yoda.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
I think we're touching on a lot of things from season 3 as well too. We've kind of touched on a couple people's lives and characters that maybe don't have a huge role to play in the overall story, but I get the sense that maybe at the end of this, when whatever final conclusion and climactic event we're gonna get a sense of like a little window into each of these. We're gonna go back to them, and it won't be like they're gonna all play a role in the plot, but we're gonna see what maybe go back to Toph, and then we'll see Zuko in the fight. You know what I mean? And we'll kind of see how the world is in balance, and how Korra and these new, this new crazy world, Brave New World is.
It'll be like the
around.
ending of Link to the Past. And
Yeah, exactly.
The pea catcher kid found his net.
Yeah.
The uncle got better. They got like
Exactly. And the other half, obviously, of the episode was about the kids.
yeah. Middle child syndrome. Yeah.
Middle child syndrome, but I also just feel like as a character, she's come completely kind of by the wayside.
Right, I mean, the show has treated her as the middle child.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like, because Milo's the little cute one, and Janora's the one who has to, like, mature and learn, so the writer's like, oh, hang on a second, maybe we should do something with this kid. We haven't ever before, so... And she's got a cool personality. Like,
I like that.
Where she's hanging with the guards, and...
It's hard to tell if this is going to be, like, if they're kind of throwing this last nod episode focus on them as, like, we might not be going... Here's our last kind of show of the kids is a major point. We're going to start moving away now because we're going to get into the more meat of the conflict.
And that is kind of a sad thought when you think about it, that at some point we're going to start seeing the lasts of things. Because at some point they're going to have to start wrapping up characters and storylines, and it's possible, yeah. I don't know.
I mean, we're probably not going to see much more of the Milo kind of...
The goofy...
Yeah, exactly. So, like, here's a lot of it. Here.
He's going to fart Ben one more time.
Exactly.
I
like it, and they say it in the episode alone, but like the parallel to like Aang's journey, they say it at the beginning. It's like, because that's one thing that Korra's never really had. Like, she seems like the group tends to just kind of like go from place to place as teleporting.
Yeah.
Like, this was more of like a journey for them. It was like, we're going out, we have no idea where our destination is. We're just going to go and try to find. It was like a straight up journey. And like the parallels to the Aang versus what it's become, I thought that was a nice little send off for that.
Yeah. Even just that, like, you're the same age as they were pretty much anyway, so,
Which is another thing that we've talked about,
Yeah.
which, definitely when we talked about the romance and whatnot, like the age differences between these characters, and it seems like the Airbending kids are so much younger. Really, they're not, though.
Yeah.
And Milo finding his one true love, and Iki just ruining it.
I love it. Anyways. Okay, well, I mean, like we said, it was a pretty straightforward episode. There's not much more to talk about in terms of... But I do think maybe last thing we could touch on is that I do think it's a turning point in the season for Korra, but it's like, okay, now the next episode is going to be her reuniting, getting back.
Right.
This is going to start getting propelled forward.
Yeah, I mean, we're 4 episodes in. We're about a third of the way through the season, so that's like the first act.
Yeah, like everyone's kind of... We've gotten the sense of the world, where the players are.
Right.
Okay, boom, let's get into
It doesn't,
this.
like, all the conflicts have seemed like the Bolin and Mako rivalry with their jobs, and Kuvira's position, marching into Zaofu, and everything's set up.
Yeah. As much as this was a slower episode, and as much as I like them taking the time to kind of delve into the depths of the world and characters, I do think it's going to start non-stop.
Snowballing.
Yeah, just like snowballing from
I think
here.
we're in for a wild ride for the next few episodes. So till the rest of the season. The rest of the season's going to go by fast, and then it's going to be all over.
And then we could burn this all down.
We can burn this whole set down, and we can get back to our lives.
That's the ending of Korracast. We're going to burn down the whole garage.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that. So for this week's viewer response, we couldn't think of a good question. But here's Matthew Shuey.
Alright, guys. All we want to know is, what are you going to be for Halloween? Leave your Halloween costume plans in the comments. And hey, if any of you guys are going to be Avatar or Korra characters, go to facebook.com/Korracast, like us, first and foremost, and then send us your pictures, and we'll post any of you guys, if you guys do cool costumes, we'll share them with the world.
What do you think about that, Vince?
Zippity doo dah, zippity day.
You know, I think this is our 50th episode.
You're right, and we're missing 2 of our members. God damn it!
Happy 50th, Korracast fans.
50 episode Halloween Spooktacular.
And to celebrate our 50th episode, we only have 50% of Korracast.
We kicked 2 of the members off the show. 2 of the original members.
50 episodes? What have we done? What have we done with...
What have we become?
What are we doing? What are we doing right now?